guys. So real quick recap before we actually dive in again. Here's my sequence. First I need the common difference. Then I want to come up with something that will be a general statement that will cover everybody from here on out. Check it. So I find out what a sub 5, the fifth term is. Then finally, I want to use that rule I come up with to get this. Now, if you're not sure how to do this yet, we haven't covered it. We're learning it right now. So just kind of take a few deep breaths and let's get through it. We'll see when we get to the end if we can make sense. First, the easy part, the common difference. What's the difference between each of these numbers? I'm going up by 3. So my common difference was 3. I got that by saying, let's take any two numbers in sequence, 14 and 11, and subtract them. So there's 14 minus 11 gives me 3. Here, let's double check it. 17 minus 14 gives me 3. In fact, if I go to the next number in the sequence, what's it going to be? 20, because I add 3 to it. So that's the first thing I need to come up with. Now let's talk about this general form. Lets me predict anybody in the sequence. Here's the formula that we use. A sub n, any number in the sequence, can be found by taking the first term, a sub 1, adding on to it the difference times n minus 1. Remember what we've talked about. This is the nth term. Whichever n happens to be, it will change. This is the first term. This is the common difference. And then this is the, well, the number I go out. Number of term. That relates back to what we were just talking about a few minutes ago. So I know some of these things already. Some of these values I can substitute. What's the first value in the sequence? The first term?
8.
8. The common difference, that was 3. And then I leave this alone in here. So this rule, 8 plus 3 quantity, n minus 1, close it, will kick out any value in the sequence. I don't have to do it longhand. Now we agreed, basically looking, if this had just been a blank on the test, they fill in the next item, you could say, oh, they're going up by 3. So 8 plus 3 is 11, plus 3 is 14, plus 3 is 17, plus 3 is 20. Well, if I plug 20 in here for n, I'm sorry, plug 5 in here for n, do I get 20 back out? Is a sub 5, the fifth term, really 20? 8 plus 3 times 5 minus 1. 8 plus 3 times 4. 8 plus 12, or 20. You know, and there's it's absolutely legitimate critique. That's a lot of work that I could have just said, yeah, add 3. 17 and 3 is 20. This is a lot of work to get there. But if I want to get the 101st term, I don't want to add 3 101 times. Well, you might. But for people who complain they have too much of a life to do homework, I would like to think that the equation method is a little more in line with your priorities.
I have no life.
What's your question?
Is that a number or a number?
Number of the term. That's why I use the 5 here as part of my verify. Part of the reason we have to subtract that 1 from n, guys, has to do with the fact the way this is set up, it can't just be the actual n value because it doesn't account for the initial value. If that doesn't answer the question well enough, memorize it as, quote, part of the equation. It's going to be n minus 1. 20. Now the last question that was asked here, and really where we were going with this, was instead of adding out 3 101 times, starting at 8, let's just use all of this work to answer the real question, which is, what is the 101st term? So a to the sub 101, the 101st term in the sequence, is going to be 8 plus 3 quantity 101 minus 1. So that's going to be 8 plus 3 times 100,
That's 300.
which is 300,
Good job.
or 308. So I could get there by just multiplying or repeatedly adding 3 over and over again. But this formula that I came up with for this sequence from this basic form allows me to in one shot kick out the end result. If I were to actually write out 101 terms, starting at 8, 11, 14, 17, 20, 23, 26, 29, and so forth, for 101 times, that will land me at 308. Yep. What general question can I address right now with this problem right here? Shoot. Can you narrow that down a bit?
That's a great question. That's my question.
Okay. Okay.